Friday night and welcome. I know that there is plenty going on about to hit the holiday season. And so, hey, hope you enjoy the evening. I think this is going to be a fascinating topic
Night
tonight.
and welcome.
And,
I know that there is plenty going on about to hit the holiday.
Yeah, I can hear myself with Chrissy.
Hey, hope
So
you enjoy the evening. I think
we have just a little bit of feedback. Chrissy, on your end.
Okay.
There we go.
Working it out.
That's all right, folks. I tell you, Chrissy is just doing great. She's a little stressed, but she's fine. You know, it's working out the technologies. So, Chrissy, I just want to welcome you to the channel and welcome. I'm glad you're on.
This is really exciting. I really appreciate you having me on.
Cool. Well, you know, when you emailed me, I found what you actually can capture to be quite fascinating. It's a subject that I have done videos on myself, but I haven't been out there in nature as you have, and to actually capture what you've done, and we'll show that to the audience. I just want to say hello to all the audience, by the way. The place is filling up, Christy, so I hope you don't have stage fright.
I'm just pretending it's you and I, Wayne.
Hey, that's the best way to do it. Best way to do it. And welcome all the moderators. And so Friday night, and I think that I was right. I think we've only got 6 more, and that's the end of the year. So Chrissy, how are you? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Wayne, I think I've put a lot of information in the comments over the last year, kind of trying to give information and try to find out almost where I am, because it's what I've been trying to figure out for the past year now. I guess a year, and I guess it's been 5 days, but who's counting? A year and 5 days now. I kind of woke up in this different realm where everything is just completely different. It's as if I was yanked out of the world, set outside of it, and I could always detect ghosts. You know, my friends would have me find their ghosts, and I had haunted houses and all kinds of crazy stuff go on. I was very religiously indoctrinated to the frenzy level towards the end of. It's just such a baffling story, and there's so much that comes from behind to the
So when you talk about the religious aspect, what do you specifically mean? I mean, because where it comes to spirits, I mean, religion's got a wide, very point of view on it. Bad, evil.
It's a really wild situation. I want to just throw in this one thing, because what I found is how everything ties together. And that's what I find most fascinating about the before and now, and how I can look back and just so many different things. It almost blows my mind. And I've been sitting, the only reason I've got all these nature shots is because I've been sitting in nature for a year now. Really, the only time I leave home, besides to take these pictures, is to go hang out with homeless people, which I've sent you pictures of them. I'm telling you, there are angels out there. People are missing so much that I'm now seeing everywhere. So I was put in Catholic school at 8 years old. But I want to back up. Right when I was a baby, as legend has it, my mother was a cocktail waitress. My father was a bartender who was much older than her. And so before I was a year old, my mother pulled one of these, they'd broken up, dropped me off at the bar in my car seat and said, you know, I've had it, you take her. And then my father, Bob, we'll call him, kind of silenced the bar and said, anyone in this room, I'll give you $1,000 to take this baby. And that, you know, the kind of things went from there, and that's fine. People always think it's shocking, but I always think it's just a fascinating story. So, I mean, I don't remember it, so it didn't bother me any. But then my mother, you know, had been married a few times, and I ended up in Catholic school by the time I was 8 years old. But I also, when she married my stepfather, he bought this really old house, catacomb basement across from a cemetery, and the place was so haunted. And my mother had a lot of issues. She was in bed a lot. She's deceased now, but so it kind of left me constantly terrified, constantly thinking, you know, my mother's going to die in a minute. The ghosts are everywhere. Constantly, I look back and I think it was fear and stress and everything else. But thankfully, I was getting a great education from the Catholic Church on how to be a good person. So As years went on, I really loved God. I always felt like I was here for some major purpose, but then I was such a terrible sinner. So by the time these 40 years had gone by, and right up until when all of this changed, I was in almost a frenzied state because I felt I knew God, I loved God, and I knew the rules, and I fornicated anyways. And that was really the big one for me. Like, I had sex before marriage, how could I? I knew better. And the shame and the guilt that I felt over my sins, my big sins, were dictating my life. So I had started my own business, Chrissy the window polisher. I was the best shining queen of all the land. I mean, and I worked for big people. It wasn't little jobs. I was really great at it. However, I was also the Lance Armstrong of the cleaning business, and I was on all kinds of medications, like top of the line medications to work. So, and this went on for 10 years. So I'm going to church, begging God. I just was remembering this morning how I say, just make me a pebble on the wheel of a car in heaven, God. I'll take that. It was like I'd become obsessed with trying to find in the Bible chips where I could find the clause where I was going to get into heaven. Because at this point in my life, I thought, I'm getting all this favor from work. I tithe like nobody's business. I spent 10 years trying to, like, it's so funny your show earlier, because I was trying so hard to be perfect. And for 10 years, I thought I'd been perfect, tithed, I told the truth. Integrity, especially at my job, it was basically what was killing me in the end. So anyways, the shame and all that was eating me alive. I had given up Halloween by last year. Christmas was out. I pulled my youngest daughter out of school. And so anyways, I'm working. It's been years of stress and the debt and this religious shame. And my oldest daughter last July up and left. And it was so horrifying to me that I immediately got a hernia. I bent over as she pulled out of the yard. I didn't know it because Lyrica had blocked that pain, but I was taking Adderall, oxycodone, Dilaudid, Ativan, Lyrica, Excedrin, because all that stuff will give you a headache by the end of the day. So this was 10 straight years, and it was not to get high and be buzzed, it was to work. So for me, it was, I'm so successful, I'm running this business on faith. I would do the best job I could. I always worked like God was watching, and I tithed. So business, by the time it was over, I had so much business, it was killing me, but I couldn't understand. But the righteous needeth no physician. Yes, I'm blessed in this one area, but everything else in my life is not screaming Jesus. Why can't I hook into Jesus? And this was driving me absolutely mad. And so, I was making my family sit on Saturdays towards the end there. Because if you look at the rules of the Sabbath, you basically can't get out of your bed. You can't turn on the lights. You can't do anything. So we are living like this because I am so distraught over my daughter leaving, and just the depths of pain at this point, and the just trauma of it. It was my physical body, it was my emotional state, stress. And so at some point I was no longer digesting food. I know I'm bouncing around here. So we're talking 4 months, from July to last November. My daughter leaves. Richie from Boston, okay? I discovered Richie from Boston, and I learned about the TVs, hypnotizing you or whatnot. So TVs are out of my house, they're done, and then, so my daughter's gone, we no longer have TV, I'm completely traumatized. I've got this hernia, and I'm working 6 days a week. I got other people working. I think I'm going to hell. I mean, everything has just gone straight over.
Hell.
To hell,
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, so I tried to stop taking all my medications. No, I didn't try. It was because I couldn't digest food. I was in so much pain towards the end. And I realized, oh my God, I can't even get out of bed anymore without these painkillers. My body, I thought I was dying. Even after this event happened, I thought, I'm just getting some extra time for some kind of behavior, and I'm going to die anytime. So my daughter had left. I'm absolutely beside me. I mean, she didn't just leave, she's just gone, like ghosted. History. And it was like, oh my God, I did everything I could to not be like my mother, to not have, because I left my mother at 16, and to find out. So anyway, so now I'm learning about the truths of the world, the moon landing, the 9/11, all the horrors people go through as they're going through YouTube for the first time. And for me, as much as I obeyed God, I never had any respect for men rules, like the word permit. At our house, you would say, oh, we need to get a permit to put it's like, what's a permit? I mean, I'm from New Hampshire, you live free or die there. Shout out to those people. But so it's weird the fact that I couldn't obey man. I had no respect for earth authority, but if God said to do it, and I believe God said to do it, I was all over it. So I just think that's interesting. So anyways, I guess the pinnacle of, I guess, distress, indifference, no bias, no clue of what might be going on. What this thing's opinion is, says, who do you say this man is? And in that instant, he said, I say whatever you did, God, whoever you say it is. And that instant, poof, he's gone. I'm back to my body. And I think, oh my God, I was never with Jesus. You know, I was never staying with Jesus. I was just on God's team. No wonder I'm damned. I mean, it just, religion makes me sick right now because, man, did they have me roped in.
Let's hold on one second. Let's see. I want to see. Are we still live, audience? Hold on.
Can you
They're
hear me?
saying we're offline.
You still have me though, right?
I do. This is really odd.
Probably making fun of religion.
Let's see. Oh, did Richie from Boston get banned off YouTube?
Is that saying his word make him shut us off?
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay, looks like we're fine. Okay, so sorry about that, folks. A little interruption on the
Over.
on the channel. So while you're talking, you sent me a number of phenomenal pictures that you have taken, and I thought this is number 2. Let's go to number 1. And you have taken all of these, correct?
Yeah. There's the prayer as a little.
And what do you call this one?
The prayer.
The prayer.
Pray. It's praying. I mean, to me, it's
Yeah.
obvious. And I gotta say, Wayne, you had 2 pictures on yesterday, and immediately I thought you were pointing at the faces of the sun with the curve.
Mm-hmm.
Faces in those pictures. Anyways, yeah. So this one. So anyways, I was born, I guess, woke up completely opposite. No more me, no more blah, blah, blah. It's all a long story. But so when I get on the other side where I am now, it's no longer just sensing ghosts and hearing ghosts and all of that. I see this stuff everywhere. And first it was the sky pics. I don't know if you saw those, but when we were driving to California 3 times, I was getting all the pictures in the sky. And I thought, look at all those dragons, and just all kinds of stuff. And then it was mushrooms. I was seeing mushrooms to be made out of all the seashells. So I was making mushroom art for a bit to stay busy. And then this is Del Monte. Sent you, cover your ears, Stella. I've not sent you the first set of photos I got, which these trees are in some pretty raunchy positions. I called it fornication forest. The first time I'm just taking snaps, I call them treesomes. I mean, it's just a love fest in that forest.
Well, and this was a forest where, in California or on
California.
In California? Okay.
There's 2, and you're going to notice a really big
Well,
difference.
I mean, listen, you can't censor nature. I think these are fascinating. Now, this one I thought was really interesting. What you see in this one here, I mean, this one kind of speaks to you as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
they all do.
I mean, look at this, folks. You clearly can see what I think are like arms.
Oh,
And
yeah.
And it's fascinating when you think about it, because the true human beings, which are the Native Americans, they understood the tree spirits. They understood that within every forest there was a community of life. And I thought that you have done just a great job in capturing these. I don't know why this is not. Oh,
thank you.
Might be that. Here we go. Now, this
one's dog, if you can notice it, down at the bottom.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah.
I mean,
awesome.
I saw that and I went, yeah.
That's cool, because that's a tough one.
that and this is like, you sometimes
So
you have to look like Where's Waldo,
yeah. Yep.
but these are not that away.
Love that one.
Yeah, this is just so interesting.
Well, what I find even more interesting is so the second round of shots I sent you, I love that one. There's a lot of
Yeah,
photos in this particular set of woods. That's in Del Monte.
this is in Del Monte.
Yeah. And that's fornication forest, as I call it. And it's just all these life forms. But in
Fornication Forest. I'm going to have to write that one down.
I'm going to send you those. I just haven't put them together yet.
Hey, hon, where do you want to take the kids? Oh, hell, let's take them to Fornication Forest.
Good old Teresa. I
And
love
this is
her.
interesting. Now, this one, I see this as a dance.
It's just beautiful.
I see whoever she is, whatever spirit that there is. Yeah, it's just now, that's what I see.
Yeah, that's what I saw too, sitting on a. But you even have another guy right dead center, kind of looking at her with his arm out. You have another guy at the end facing the other way with his eyes and nose. It's everywhere. And we'll be driving down the road. I'll say, there's one. They're just, like I said, when I woke up, it was almost like, okay, let's give her to Mother Nature. This kid's had it. Let's get her. I mean, everything changed. Everything about me. I never went back to, I never touched another prescription. I never touched meat. Everything, boom. It's like I went to sleep that night screaming, kill me, I'm done. Woke up the next day out in this.
Yeah, I tell you, with myself now, there was a time when I used to go hunting a lot and never was really good at it. But I knew back then that the forests are always alive. And it took me one time going out to Calaveras County, right up there in Northern California. And when you see the fairy people, yeah. So this is what reminded me of the fairy people was that there is there is an Irish tune. Anyway, it's called The Dance. And this is what that reminded me of.
I'm counting so many more in there, just looking at it. Oh, the bunny rabbit.
This is, yeah, I mean.
Yep. I saw him again today when I was out there.
Yeah, this is phenomenal. This one.
Super fun. I know. The fish.
I mean.
Guppy.
Yeah.
And then you've got like Helena St. Troy or whatever you call it on the corner. I just noticed. That's the thing.
Well,
I go back and there's so many more in there.
I see of this is truly what I see as a real definition of a spirit being. I mean, not human, but as sentient as we are. I mean, it's so obvious. And is this all in the same forest?
These are, yes, because
wow.
In Garland Ranch, there's a dog. In Carmel, it's all witches, warlocks.
Is that right? I did not know that. I'll have to go next time I'm out there. Exactly. I may have to.
You have some pictures out of that forest, so I'll show you when we get to them. They come up, and we found a circle with Stone Stella did. There's a lot of rituals clearly going on there, and people's idea of witchery, and you can tell because in another thing, Wayne. When I see these pictures, a lot of times I'll just be walking through, and it's like radar, like, hey, over here, and I'll go over and I'll say, where? Now,
this is very unusual.
When I would see the stuff at Garland Ranch, I'd come over to take a picture and it would kind of, like it was shy, like it would dissipate. The snake, that one's awesome. I mean, if you can't see that, I don't know. That is cool. I just love that.
I had an internet company back when the internet was just starting back in 1999. Anyway, one of the things that we got our first claim to fame was we did the first exclusive online interview with the directors of the Blair Witch Project.
Really?
And and it was quite fascinating in the background research they did for the movie. And so now when I look into forest and I know that they're inhabited, and in this case, particularly with those that are invoking the elements, this is
I love it. guy.
Yeah. What do you call this one?
The Greek god, I guess, whatever. You know, it's a side view of his face.
Yeah.
And I love that one. I love them all.
I just say, it's the fact that you found all these in.
Like I said, because I can read energy so well now, it's not just with these, it's with people. If I can basically, like, I just want to tell one story about in this on a human level. There's one of the homeless guys I know, there's a Springer Spaniel. When I first took this one, I thought it was going to be something completely different. But then when I got it home, I said, oh, it's a dog, another dog, because we've got cats and dogs galore in here.
Oh, okay.
This guy, there's a monkey. Love that one. The baboon. My husband could see that one as I was taking it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, that one's cool. But you see, even in the eye, even in these, I'm getting some of these in the tiniest little hole in the tree. And like I said, it's almost like the tree says, hey, check me up. The dog, another dog.
How interesting. There is a belief that the spirits will manifest themselves to those who are receptive in seeing them.
I was kind of pulled onto an upper vibration, I guess, love, harmony, the whole 9 yards. I'm there, and it's great. But
this one I love. This one is, I have to say, is one of my favorites.
And I had that exact rooster, chicken hawk. I was thinking today, I hope that's him, out here with us. I know. Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Well, and when I look at this too, I see another, it's, and I'm sure that the audience, I can't see the audience in the chat room, but I'm sure everyone is getting different interpretations. You know what I saw in this one? I saw this one as a god. You can see that there's clearly a face. This is the crown, the helmet. When you look at the depictions of Apollo, Ares, they have the helmet with the wings that go behind them. And, I know you saw the rooster and I saw that, but when I started meditating on this, I said, wow. And again, I think it's there, Chrissy, for those who the spirits will manifest themselves to.
Yeah. And they're doing it on all levels. And it's not, like I said, it's not even just these trees. I love this one. This one makes you want to run the other way, but he's really actually a friendly. That's the thing. It's just it's hard to describe, but
yeah,
it's like I'm in their realm now. I wonder if they all party at night, and the sun comes up and they all freeze again because
the whole thing about the Lord of the Ring, the Hobbit series is that what was trying to be communicated is that what man has lost the ability to interact with the other kingdoms.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this is a kingdom that we used to be very familiar with. They were very familiar with us. And I love it that the fact that they would manifest themselves to you and you were aware enough that you actually, and I love this one. Hello, folks. What do you think that one is?
I know. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know how I got here. Honestly, it's like I said, I woke up and everything looks like this. It's all.
So you just woke up one morning and
I screamed, God,
a shift had taken place in you.
Complete shift. I heard you're never working like this again. You never had to. And here's what's interesting. They said, we are putting you in a new place. Your suffering is ended. There's a fair. And I never went back to work. Everything. My doctor thought I had a walk-in. That's how much everything changed. And we left everything within 3 weeks. Left Maine, drove to California in our minivan with a cat, nice owl. And the deer come up to me. That all my friends are birds or homeless people. Really, I don't do a whole lot, but go out here and just take these pictures because I think it's so fun.
This one I find it brings to me laughter, because I see this as a spirit that's still pontificating. It's like, I just, there's a certain energy to this one. What did you see when you took this one?
I saw, like, I couldn't remember if the name would be a groundhog. You know, his
Uh-huh.
head, he's kind of got like a suit over his head. I think it's a groundhog. I might be calling it the wrong animal, but yeah, where the mouses would be his
Yeah.
face, and then kind of and he could even have a dragon on his back for it.
Well,
You go
there
back
are so many different life forms. One of my experiences on LSD was going out into a forest, naked, may I say, and it was quite illuminating. The creatures are everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
and you have the ability through the camera lens to catch this. I think it's just beautiful.
I feel like finally I can tell my friends, I told you guys I could see this stuff, not this, but the ghosts and the spirits and the energies I could always read. And now it's like, wow, I can get them on camera. This is just the best.
This is so now are we in the same
I took
course?
today, they might have reloaded up. You might have all of them. Some of them that was the one with the board on. I looked out the window the other day and they said, honey, you gotta move that board. Look at that guy. Which even now you can almost see it
Yeah.
better small, but you can actually, if you look at it like those 3D pictures, eventually you'll see the look on his face, like those are his eyes, the board's against his nose, and he's kind of like,
Yeah, I can see that. It's right here.
so I made him move it. And that's another thing. These are in my backyard, and the faces on these trees have changed. I have pictures from way back, and now I've taken new pictures, and they're completely different faces, which I think is fascinating.
Well, trees are living, sentient life forms. We just see them as a means to get wood and energy from, but we've lost this ability. There is this separation and it does not surprise me that you have different expressions showing up.
Yeah. So cool.
Now this is very interesting.
Some of these are all from the same few trees over in is it Big Sur?
Uh-huh.
Towards the Big Sur area, just as you're getting over there.
Beautiful area, by the way. I'm envious.
I know. I don't know how I'm here, honestly. It's like I told you in the comments, I don't know if we all died and we don't know because we're in paradise. And
I think so. By the way, this reminds me of a snapping turtle. I just, every time I see it, it just reminds me of a snapping turtle. And if you've ever been in the South, Chrissy, which I'm gathering you haven't, those snapping turtles can be interesting.
Just in my nightmares, nothing else.
I love it. And this one is, I don't know, you get a real sense that if we could hear what this spirit was talking, it would have a story to tell.
Voodoo. Back on.
Well, I would have to say that, a certain interpretation, I think that would work as yeah.
He's got his 3 teeth there. It's just awesome.
Yeah, I do see the 3 teeth. But you see, I see a face within a face.
Oh, yeah.
I see a face right here. It's like, okay.
Balls that literally come out of the bark too. They're not flat at all. These are.
No, I mean, it clearly you can see they're in 3 dimensions.
Yeah, because there's a shadow. I guess you're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating. This one is interesting.
I think I was trying to get an owl. But
that's what I was trying to get to.
But I might have gotten too close because remember, I'm on the ground and and this is just some camera. It's a lot of these I was taking with my old BlackBerry. So I'm just really excited.
I love this.
Just nuts.
Now now this one here,
love that.
This one speaks wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly you can see.
So cool.
Oh yeah. I mean, wow. This one speaks
harmony.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly, from where I'm sitting, it's harmony. You flow with harmony and the whole world opens up to you. Now,
do you go up and lay your hands on the trees? I mean, do you talk with them? I mean, it's obviously that they're talking to you.
I thank them. I interact, say, because what first started was animals and insects were coming up, and they'd say, "Hey, you want your picture?" And they'd pose. I've got some of a red dragonfly that showed up, and I actually painted a red picture and was told, "Put this outside today," and I did. And I really think it was so the dragonfly knew what house to come to, and it sat there, let me get about 60 shots right in its face. I couldn't believe it. So it started.
A red one, huh?
Yeah, and I just have to upload my other phone, and I will get you those pictures.
I'd love to see that. You know, I've seen, what they have, the iridescent, blue and the dark, and
I got some of those too. Mhm.
yeah.
I'm able to catch action shots really well too, especially with the birds and stuff. And there's a cat. I got that cat. Was that today?
Yeah, look at that. Yeah.
That's another one I think is just awesome. That is such a cat. Man, just blows your mind, right? You just think it's a tree, but no, think again, folks.
Yeah. This one.
Yeah.
This one's got this one. Yeah. So what you see in this? I know what I'm seeing.
Relative of probably the second or third one you put, and I said, I just love this guy, and he had like the beard and the red, there was like a red leaf in his head. And it's also the same family of the sky one you first looked at, the one that's kind of up in the air. I feel some of these are coming from the same kind of families that we wouldn't recognize here on Earth as regular animals, but so I kind of took him as one of them. Or it could be a fish, I mean, you got.
I don't know. I mean, that's a clear fang to me.
Yeah, that's exactly. So I think that one goes in the family with those other fangs. And
yeah, I mean, that one is very, very. Cool. It's boy. I mean, you know how they give you the ink blot test. Now, tell us, Chrissy, what do you see in this particular picture? And it's like, wow.
I see acid, 1997. Okay, what do we have here?
There you go. This one is very interesting as well.
So that would have been down in, my audience here is left. I think that is also at Carmel at one of the beaches by Big Sur. But again, this one, now that I look at it from here, you've almost got, again, those little faces hiding in all the holes.
Yeah. I mean, I got a little guy here, and you step back and yeah. I can only imagine I'll have to see what the comments are.
You've got rocks that you wouldn't believe the formations from different angles.
Now this guy here, you just want to give a hug to. I know. I mean, it's like he's, the way that the picture is framed, it's like, I need a hug.
Yeah.
It's just, don't we all? Isn't that so true? That's definitely.
I talk to these trees. I talk to the ones out back most, and because I have my own little animal farm up here now, and I just love them. Okay, what do we got here? This
is interesting. I'm not sure what really to make of this, but I can clearly see, eyes, what would be considered, I
was kind of showcasing that the rest of the tree is almost like his horns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Oh, what a gifting is again.
The duck. I got this duck today. Howard the duck.
Howard the duck. This is perfect.
Yeah, me too. He wasn't there before. I go to these things.
Well, as I'm looking at this now, I really see I see the duck. I mean, it's there too, but I also see Cousin It.
Right.
From the Addams Family. I mean, yeah, I don't know. And it's looked like he is gnawing the hell out of this. Anyway, that's.
Oh, I see it now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
you're right. It's not a beak. It's someone's soul, or
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I mean, you got the eyes right here, and you got the teeth right here. There you go.
The screamer. Now, this guy I've actually captured a few times. You have him the side view.
Yeah.
The whole body, I think, in another set. And I only know that because of the heart rock someone stuck in him. But it blows my mind every time. And there are quite a few screamers in this forest too that I've caught. And
so if a tree would represent all the different species, which I think they do, this one reminds me of the insectoids. I mean, you've got what clearly looks to me here, and I view this as almost an arm coming down here, and you can see the type of crown. Anyway, that's it's
We've got his whole body on another shot, and then I'd shown it to someone who thought and then they're like, no, it's something like swallowed him and he's coming out. And I thought, wow, I guess I didn't even know. Again, it's all.
wow. This one here.
This one had a lot of action on it.
I've met people that look like this.
Yeah.
In their personality.
I'm glad you saw him right after. I was thinking, how am I going to point him out? Yep.
Oh, I mean, come on, folks in the chat room. You got to admit, come on, that we've all met personalities. I think some of us wake up like this, I mean, it is the truest expression of life, Chrissy. I just love this. This is very interesting. What'd you see in this one?
Taking these pictures. Like, look at them all. I go out, take pictures, and I come home and stare at them and look at that. And show all my friends and family. I send them pictures.
Well, they're speaking to you. They definitely are.
Oh yeah. Now this guy's got his arm over the other tree, and it's amazing that I'm not catching any of the fornication in these shots, because this forest is getting it on. The first time we went in there, I was blushing. Like, it is everywhere. If you see everything in this forest with legs sticking out of the ground, it's over. It's just, forget about it.
Yeah, I mean, so as I stare at this, I just want to tell you, I get the biggest creep factor, because look at the eyes that are glowing right here. Look at the face.
Oh, you've got a face in a face. See,
look at that.
That was half of his jowl to me. So wow.
Yeah, see, to me, I see this as the head. This is the shoulders that hunch out, and the eyes, they're glowing. That's what I see.
I didn't even notice that. That was half his mouth.
See?
Wow. Yes. Again, there's so many. I mean, there's a guy in the back. There's everywhere. It is so easy to. I just go outside and catch 10 or 15 of these shots in a couple of minutes, because we'll drive down the road. Like I said, these are everywhere.
This is amazing. I'm still trying to figure out how this eye is lit when the sun is clearly coming in from this angle. But that one is, hello.
They are alive. I'm telling you. And there's another guy. It's just the life in these trees.
Look at this.
Makes you think,
And you can almost get a sense as well of, of almost a sense of personality.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
That's another one of those in the hole.
Yeah. I mean, it's just very distinct here. I mean, yeah. Look at that. That is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And this one kind of reminds.
I mean, these guys, there's no ill will in these woods. Like the Garland Ranch, now that one is a little bit spooky. But these woods here, all love, peace, love, dove, and, fornication.
So I see. Oh, this is weird. Of course, it's to the individual that sees it, but I see a face within here. Mm-hmm. But here's really odd. I see another one here. I see one within here. I mean, you look at this, but there is clearly.
I appreciate that you can see all those, because a lot of times I won't even highlight to people all the other faces, because I figure they're not going to see them. So I'm really excited that you can see all those.
Well, we are a bunch of empaths here. I mean, if they ever make it illegal to be an empath, we're all in deep crap. But if we're really good at it, we should know that it's coming.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Oh, look at this one here. What do you call on this one?
It's another screamer. It's the same thing. The eye, tongue sticking out. These are the same. The screamers everywhere. I've got some that look like, it's somewhere in there, and it's almost like a devil face, and he's in the elbow of where they had chopped off a part of the tree. So you can almost even see attitudes in places where, and a lot of these trees are dead, by the way. So that's what I find most amazing, is half these trees are, broken down, dead on the ground, and they're full of life still, which I think is just.
Wow. As I look at this one, all right, so I get a sense of motion, and I'm thinking that if I was to meditate long enough, I think you would actually get pulled in to this life force that's, I contend that there are vortexes, portals all around us. And if you look at this, when you get the feel that it feels like it's pulling in energy into it.
Well, and he's even got guys on top.
Yeah.
I find a lot of these guys have almost like henchmen or buddies or
Yeah.
people around them, not people, but you know what I mean? The
You
faces.
know what this reminds me of?
What?
The Molochs, in the Time Machine.
See them, I
Do you
mean,
remember that one?
no.
Go and watch it. It's the guy, Rod, what is his name? He played in The Birds. And anyway, it's the Time Machine, Jules Verne's story. But this is what this reminds me of.
Well, I watched The Ways of Heaven after you suggested it.
How was that, my dear?
Oh my God. Oh, I think I was the professor, and then watch the other guy. Like,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that was mind blower. Like,
It is. It's serious mind coitus across the board.
you've been with me this whole year. When I actually froze in time, I think stopped breathing for a couple minutes when I came across your Old Testament video, God of the Old Testament. Like that
Yeah.
I couldn't even move. I think I died for like 3 minutes.
All right. So what we got going?
Here we have another peeker, and that's another thing that's neat about this. You got a lot of people peering, or faces peering around the side of trees, and this one is kind of, you see him, he's just kind of sitting there right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You could call that his arm. I mean, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Super fun.
I'd love to have my hands on this energy just to see. This is really interesting. Okay, so what did you see on this one?
I see like little insects, tribute to the insects, and then you got another guy underneath. Now these are actually like the tiniest branches that I'm.
This is amazing.
But I see like a bee or some kind of insect on top, and then another guy underneath.
I'm sitting here going, this is just fascinating. Wow.
Which one we got here? Let me see. Is this the same forest as that might be in Garland Ranch? We might be over to Garland Ranch now.
You can almost feel the energy to this place. It's got a creep factor to it.
It does. The Garland Ranch, I don't know what they are doing for us. Don't catch me there at night.
Come on, folks. This in the daylight, she has captured, I think, the essence of, if this doesn't give you it's got a heaviness to it, is what it's got. It's got a heaviness. I can feel it. I got the psychic. It's intense.
Never alone. Oh, there's the owl I got today. I love those. I have so many owls at this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the owl has a lot of different connotations. And so the Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, we are in the den of iniquity over here.
Well, they worship the owl.
Yeah.
And the owl is Moloch. Did you know that?
Yeah, I've been learning all about these.
Okay, all right. So you're right there, and it's odd that the very life force of these trees are representing. This is we'll have to have some more conversations on this. This is very, very interesting.
Love this one. This was at Garland Ranch. So we are getting into the Garland Ranch pictures now. That's Garland. And again, to me, it's almost, remember, what was that show? I wanted to be a solid gold dancer. Solid gold dancer, Madame Mimi was her name. Was that her name? The old lady? It's like her. That's her chin. You remember the old lady on Solid Gold?
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Then someone riding her back almost.
That is so freaking. Oh, yes, look at that.
Yeah, Garland Ranch. So there again, to me, all of these different pictures screamed, cult, witch. And it's even interesting that there were like diamonds in different shapes. It was just a whole different scene, a whole different energy. I even have a wizard on one of these trees. It's just blows your mind. And
so I see
the eyes on this one, kind of creepy. Like, this is watching you. They're all, I've got one of a witch that's like, that's not the witch, right? Some of these get so blown up that no, this is definitely, yeah, exactly. They need to lay off the sauce in the old garlic ranch because they're creeping everyone out in the trees.
Look at this.
Yep. And the people are really rude in there too. It's the whole energy of the place. When I was there, I went up to a volunteer. I said, "Did you know these faces are in your trees? Check it out." And she's just kind of like, eh.
I bet they did.
All day, so. I mean, I guess.
Wow. Okay. Let me see if I can get this. How do I get this out of here? Okay. Come on. Move on. I've got to give me 1 second.
Giant turtle. I mean, how cool is that? That was at the place. That's over at Del Monte. That's a safe woods.
Let's see here.
Okay. Yeah, that's a turtle.
Yeah, let me erase all this. Here we go. But that was a very strange creature. I mean, I've seen some of these in the other ramp. Look at that. If that ain't so, look at that. That is so cool. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just sitting there, I mean, what did it take? Probably, how long were we there today? A half hour to take all the shots we sent you today. There's that guy. There's that guy.
That is just amazing.
Yeah, because you have the other file somewhere. There's a face of that guy right there. That's what that was. Now that it's not blown up, I can see the face in that tree a lot better.
This one here, I got to tell you.
Yeah. That had to have been, that's not Garland Ranch. That would have been something I sent you last week where difference in energy was just.
And and again, just pulling back on the perspectives, you can begin to see again, this one here. I mean, how often does that happen in nature? I mean, you get those kind of, I don't know if those would be horns, spines. And look how clear this one becomes.
Yeah, see, it's almost like they get too big and you can't.
Yeah.
Well, they're better the smaller they are. It's just so fun.
But you know what? Do you see them still here? Do you see the eyes?
Which one we have? Sorry.
This one right here?
Yeah, yep. I totally see that as
I see this as one. I see this as one being. I mean, those eyes are still looking at, get out of my head, man. Anyway, so and you can really see the duck here too. I mean, you can really see that. However, I will say this, when we were in Hawaii, and you begin to look at some of the Polynesian gods that they worship, you'll see very often they'll have masks that will look a lot like this. Very interesting.
Inspiration.
Wow. Okay. Well, this has been fascinating, Chrissy. I just want to thank you. Hold on. Before we get out of all this, folks, I do want to bring everyone to this point, and we're going to talk some more, Chrissy. So, folks, something's going on with, and I'm trying to say this to you in the most serious way I can. You follow my channel, Chrissy, you followed the channel. Folks, I've been telling you, I've been showing you the stories. This is number 7, folks, in the last 6 days. They're telling us something, folks, and this one you need to pay attention to. They're telling us that, how do I put this? I'll just say how they said it. The Earth is losing heat. They have now discovered that at the very upper part of our atmosphere that touches what's the space barrier, it's losing heat. And apparently it's losing heat at such a fast rate. This is, again, for story number 7. They're warning that it can literally become cold, as they're saying, setting space age records. So be that as though it may, out there, folks, we'll talk more. So, Chrissy, I'm going to get out of here. Let me just see everyone in here. So you've got this most remarkable gift. I have to just say, it's a pleasure to see this.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to share it finally with someone who wanted to see it. 'Cause,
So what do you see in your everyday life now? I mean, since you've, like you said, this shift that took place in you, how do you see your world now?
the colors are a lot more vibrant for sure. There's no meat eating here. It's the basic rules, and I've been trying to find where am I, what happened to me. I don't have ascension codes. I don't have any aliens. There's definitely none of that. It's all spirit. It's all spiritual, like it's always been for me. Except now, I not only just hear them or sense them, I'm seeing it in everything. When we were first got here, I was going down to the ocean, and I was trying to meditate, and I'd go in the bathtub and get all the visions, and I could see what was going to come for the day. And one day I saw the waves splash me in the face, and it was almost like, come down to the beach so I could give you a kiss. I felt that different sense with nature. I'd watch the waves. My daughter and I would run down and play chicken with the waves, or we'd go to play chicken, which is like running in front of a car, but it's the waves, run away from them. And they wouldn't be interested, it would seem, and we'd go to walk away. And this happened a few times. And the waves would kick up as if, come back. And I can remember her thinking she believed the wave stopped at her feet. And I thought, now that's the best homeschool going, because
Yeah, yeah.
she's mastering nature. I was really shocked to see, I have this squirrel Chester, who I caught him spying on me when we first got here. And it sounds ridiculous, but I heard his name's Chester. So I said, hey, Chester. And he kind of looked at me shocked and ran off. And then he started coming around. So he comes and eats right out of my hand. He's had a few friends by, Larry and Teresa, but they left. But anyways, like these deer that come down every morning for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I've got 3 crows, 2 blue jays, some hummingbirds. What else?
So you're probably one of the truest empaths I've seen. So what what can the community do to help with you? I mean, and obviously you have a gift that I think could be very much in need in the community as well.
I think that what I can offer is I can read initial energy, except, and I was thinking, I can't read you, Wayne, and I can't read anyone who blocks themselves with the white light. That works. I cannot read you if you have protected yourself, so it's not going to work that day.
You can't read me?
Not if you protected yourself. No. If the next tomorrow you forget, now I can go in for you. But the perfect example, there's a homeless guy, and I love him, and he's very overweight. He's got a straggly beard, long hair. If he was a house, I told him, if you were a house, it would look like a hoarder lived there. There'd be blankets on the window. But the first time I ever talked to him, I said, oh my God, you're a chick magnet. And I laughed because you would never believe, looking at him, that this man is his core energy chick magnet. So he's finally, over the weeks, because I see him every Sunday, has admitted that, yeah, he's been celibate for 31 years. He women used to flock all over him, and he has done this to himself on purpose, kind of packed himself in some oath to God or whatnot, his beliefs. And I just couldn't believe I got it. As much as it happens, it still shocks me. Oh my gosh, I got it right. And that's what I want to say. I can see people who are also wherever I am. For instance, you're obviously in this realm. One everyone probably knows, and I've been trying to tell him this in his comments, and people think I'm nutty in the comments, but Sage Wanderer, I don't know if you've heard of him. That guy is in whatever realm this is. And I try to tell him, well, Sage, you're an angel, you're over here with us, and you're a demon or whatever, and ignores me. But I so badly wanted to say that, Sage, I see you up here. You're one of us, I guess. And that's the same thing with these homeless people I've shot pictures of. It's like, that's an angel. That's an angel. And so I ran up to him and I said, oh my God, I can see you. It's not like I'm shy about this. So I've been dating coaching here and there because I can read energy so well. I can mirror back anybody. So what I do is if someone comes to me, I can take a snapshot of them almost, mirror snapshot, go home, kind of put that overlay on myself and figure everything out about them. Or I can just ask about them, and it takes a few hours usually, and I'll just get all this information. Or I just look at someone and I can immediately, I see them. So I think this helps people.
So let me ask you something, because it brings up a very interesting subject. So when you're looking at people, do all of them have the same, and I want to word this very exact. Do they all have the same sapient spirit? Because
No,
okay, good. Thank you. What, can you go
no.
a little bit more into that?
I've actually encountered like Walking Dead in
Is that right?
more recently, especially downtown, because like that's my favorite thing to do. The only social life I have is because I'm so shell shocked at being in this realm. I haven't figured out what, now that we found love, what are we gonna do with it? That kind of thing. I don't know. So I just kind of been hanging out. I'm obviously gonna have to work this thing.
I'm going to have to remember that. Well, now that we found love, what do we do?
Um,
So let's talk about so I have been getting messages that we're being inundated with spiritless bodies. So having you said that, you and I have not talked on this. So explain to me a little bit more in the audience when you see this, how do you, the difference? That's what I'm looking for.
mhm. There's a few levels. So someone that I see is here, my heart just leaps so much for them that and I'm almost starstruck when I see certain individuals, and I see them immediately, like, you were a good man, or you were this, or I see you at your heart. I will walk past certain individuals who they're empty, and and this has happened for years, but it's definitely happening more now, where I'll pass an energy and it'll just kind of push me back. Ugh, God, I can't, just give me the wiggles. But this has now come down to the eyes. I think everything now is apparent right through anybody's eyes. You can look into anybody's eyes and get a good understanding of who they
The
are.
windows to the soul, as they used to say. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I know I guess it might have been a month and a half ago, I felt, because I can read what's going on in the spirit realm, and that's why I feel, because everybody's talking aliens now. It's like, I don't have any aliens, none. I'm just going to be straight up, don't know any aliens. But in the spirit realm, it's the one day I remember thinking, it's as if everyone's put their cards on the table and they're being counted. And that meant everyone up. It's almost like I dwell just above another dimension, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
We're kind of
absolutely.
looking at everything from the outside, above it, with a completely different set of information than people are hearing on a daily basis. So that's something that happened recently. Trying to think. I've been so caught up taking these pictures and just kind of
No, and I'm trying to see, folks, we have and I'm speaking to everyone here, and obviously everyone in the chat room as well. You have a remarkable gifting, and it tells me if something's happening. Seriously, when I get the energy from you, what I really get this energy is, there was a time when we had many more not seers, but individuals that could help others in gapping the different dimensions. We'll use that word. I call it kingdoms, actually. I think it's a better term for it.
Yep.
And you have this, and it's amazing that you went through this whole thing with the religious thing, the God spell. That's what I call it.
rock bottom.
Yeah.
The treasure lays on the bottom of the barrel, I think.
Well, listen, as I've told people, in my living room, I was literally in the floor in the fetal position, sobbing when I realized that the story was just nothing more than, hyperbole. And it anyway. Well,
There
we've
is
done,
something above us, for sure.
yeah, there definitely is. And
He's not mad at us. We're not in trouble.
I've been thinking about more and more, people have been asking me about, forming, I don't know, they call them hangouts, or in Zoom has it to where we can actually do some rooms. You have a great gifting, and I'd like to see it put more to use. And there's a
Thank you.
purpose to it.
I'm fresh for exploiting at this point.
I'm sure your husband would have.
Ready to be. I honestly don't know what to.
There she goes. She's
Forever.
So how does the family dealing with this? This is a
You know,
new mom, apparently.
yeah. Well, the other kid is gone completely, but the kid who loves me is here. And
But I
she,
can tell you what, the other one is not gone.
well, I deserved it. You know, I did a lot. I had to recognize while I'm understanding all the lies the world told, I had to understand all the terrible, terrible things I'd done and just to survive. And that's the worst part. And to me, I think anyone sticking around in this lie system and putting up with it, I don't understand. It's like, no, I'm not playing. I'm not playing with you system of the world. I'm out.
So,
Out.
Chrissy, I'm going to tell you the fourth principle for you and your daughter. All paradoxes, all disputes can be reconciled, and I see that coming. So talk about with the rest of the family. I saw that you have your daughter there behind you. I mean, how are they reacting to the new mom? Hello, I see you.
You know, she's a superstar on YouTube herself. My husband's had to do a lot of taking care of me
Yeah,
because
I think she's freezing up on us. Chrissy, I think we've lost you. Although that's a great pose. All right, folks, I think we're still live here. So, well, that's a good segue to head on out, folks. So, thank you. I mean, it is just a fascinating story. And I meant this. I'm glad that Chrissy is coming forward, and I hope others will come forward as well. We have an opportunity here, folks, to do immense things. So, I appreciate you so much, Chrissy. Appreciate you. We have that great pose. I mean, if you're going to have a freeze frame, that's a good one. All right, folks, be good. I think Brian has his show over there on Milky Way Weekly. Get over there and have a check. Folks, be good to yourselves. I'm going to be over with April tomorrow on the radio station up there in Canada. I appreciate everyone. I speak favor over all of your lives. May there be nothing missing, nothing broken be found in your lives. That's the way that we know that we're perfect. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. We will see you again real soon, folks. All right. Bye-bye.